On today's episode, we dive into bad gym culture,
unfortunate news coming out of B Team,
ways for professors to help build and grow their gym culture in a positive way.
Nachos, get your nachos here.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the pod. My name is Kenny. I'm here today with Matt Vega, Mr. Os Nation himself. How's it going today, brother?
What's up, guys? Long time no see. It's been about 5-6 days. What's going on?
So today is officially Mother's Day. I know we mentioned the Mother's Day shout out last week, and I know this isn't going to come out until after Mother's Day, 3 days after Mother's Day. But just, again, reiterate, shout out to all the moms out there doing right by their kids. I don't think every person deserves to celebrate certain days, but to all the moms out there doing the right thing, fucking salute to you.
Salute to you. And just because maybe you're not the best mom right now doesn't mean you can't be the good mom in the future. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You could always change. Thing about kids. Here's the thing about kids. Kids love their parents unconditionally to a fault. And if you truly mean and truly change, you can rewrite those wrongs and, you know what I mean? Fix whatever mistakes you've made or whatever. So, just maybe today's not a happy Mother's Day for you, but doesn't mean next year or the year after that can't be. Mm-hmm. So get after it.
We have quite a bit to talk about. I wouldn't say like a lot of topics, but some deep topics. I think we're going to save
one major jiu-jitsu topic.
Yeah, I think we'll hold off on that one for a little bit. Let's get some listener ones knocked out so that we can kind of be focused on these, and then of course we've got the topic.
Before we start, hey, my daughter said gay this last week. Did we talk about this on the podcast?
No.
And like they always say the 90s is coming back, and I want to and the way she said it, Kenny, she didn't say it in a slandering way, like slandering homosexuals.
Right.
She said it in the way we used to say it in the 90s. I was like, honey, we got to go to Hemet, and she hates that drive, which it's not a fun drive. I was, we got to go to Hemet. And she's like, that's gay. And I was like, I didn't know how to handle it. I didn't know. I was trying not to laugh on the inside. I was like dying on the inside. I was like, the way she said it. And I was like, honey, I was like, that was hilarious. And the way I even told her, like, that was very funny. Your timing was good. But the way you said it and the way you meant it, I don't think there's anything wrong with the way you said it. And that's the way that Daddy used to say it in the 90s. And I was like, I don't even know where you heard that, because that word is not even in our house. But it's probably not a good word to say. But I was dying. I couldn't get mad at her. The way it was perfect. She set it up so perfect. Like I was like, what did you say?
We have some. We had a couple of people write in. One specifically asked to remain anonymous, so we'll keep it anonymous. And this kind of, I guess it doesn't really, this is going to be more of this episode is going to be more of a real episode. We have these every once in a while. So question, should a jiu-jitsu coach, purple belt, be able to belittle a student and make them cry in front of the class? Me, I'm the person that cried. I am a female blue belt, and I've been training for about 2 years. I help my coach in kids class as his assistant. Just keep an eye on the kids and help them when they have a question. I was rolling with a white belt, and he was screaming at me saying, why am I a blue belt? And that I should know this stuff. He made me cry, and I just didn't understand what he wanted me to do. So the class stopped because they saw me crying, and he was yelling at me. Usually he yells at us, but yesterday was a bit too much where I felt useless. I don't know how to bring it up because then I might cry again when I'm mad. He has told another female that that if she gets a stripe on her blue belt, that he will rip it off because she doesn't deserve it.
Isn't he the one putting the stripe on there?
Yeah.
Or is, I don't know if this is like the head professor in the gym. It sounds like it's not. He's just a professor there. Either way, this guy is a piece of shit.
No, it said it should a jiu-jitsu coach a purple belt. So yeah, I don't think he's the head professor.
Okay. Yeah. This guy's a fucking tool and he's a piece of shit. You are not on a pro team. You're paying for a service. Whatever this guy is, he's bad culture for the gym. There's a lot of ways you can be bad culture for your gym. This guy is bad news. He's a scumbag. I would go to the head professor and tell him what's happening. He should not be yelling at any of the ladies or anybody, period.
Right.
If that happened if I found out that happened to somebody, then that guy's going to have a talking with. That is unacceptable. I would leave that gym. Period. No one's going to make me, you're going to make me uncomfortable with something that's already an uncomfortable sport. You're not going to ruin that for me. I didn't try out for this team. You're not like a coach of like the team. Like, fuck that guy. That guy's a fucking tool. And if that guy is one of my followers, you're a fucking tool and don't follow me. Like, that's not good energy. That's horrible. You don't deserve your stripe. Who are you to take a fucking stripe off a belt too, you fucking clown? You're a fucking clown. You're gonna over the top of your professor and take a stripe off a fucking blue belt. You're gonna make a girl cry, you fucking little wiener energy. That's horrible. That's the horriblest thing. That's horrible. Jiu-jitsu is supposed to be a comfortable place for everyone to train, whether you're a woman, a man, whatever. It doesn't matter. It should be a safe spot because it is a very scary thing to learn at first. And if you're making people feel uncomfortable, you are a cancer to the gym and you need to fucking hit the road, because whoever gave you your purple belt, you would never go past that. I would kick you out of my gym. If I found out you were yelling at women and making them cry, I would kick you out of my gym. I don't care if you're an adult purple belt world champion. I don't care if you bring guys into the gym, if you have a big following. I don't care if some guys like you. How are you making ladies cry? You're making ladies cry, you fucking clown. There you go.
I can't disagree with any of that. I think that was perfectly said. This guy's a fucking asshole. I think if she does talk to the head professor and he does nothing about it, absolutely fucking bail, because you don't want to be a part of that. That
it's you or the guy.
Yeah.
If the guy stays, then the professor condones his behavior, and then he's a fucking tool. You can't have that. You can't have that negative fucking people. You can't have bullies in jiu-jitsu. You can't have that. Why are we training jiu-jitsu? To defend ourselves against guys like that.
Right. Yeah.
He's an asshole. And remember they said, like, I'm a jiu-jitsu weeds out the douchebags. And there's everybody's in the comments like, oh, no. What about this guy? What about that guy? Well, yeah, you're right. Not 100%. And this is one of those cases where it has not weeded this guy out. Hopefully this video does. I'll collab with him if someone can give me his name, and I'll stitch this.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. This like Matt said, this guy sounds like an absolute fucking asshole, and he's no business being in especially like in a teaching role. You know what I mean? To where you've essentially given this person who has an authority issue a position of authority. You know what I mean? And they're power hungry, and they're definitely abusing their power.
It's a lady, it's a blue belt, and she's helping out with the kids class, and you're yelling at her in front of these kids, I'm imagining, saying she doesn't know what the fuck she's doing, who gave her this belt. Are you insane? And if you're a dad in the stands and you're watching this fucking purple belt yell at other students, why are you sitting there?
Yeah.
Be a man. I'd be like, what the fuck you doing? Leave her alone. I don't care if I'm not in this class. That's where a parent, that's where a dad, that's where someone should stand up as a man and be like, what are you saying to this lady? Leave her the fuck alone, you clown. Right. Like, I don't care. I don't care if I'm my student. I'll pull my kids out of this class. You're not in your class. I'm not going to allow my kids to be taught by this fucking idiot.
Right.
Period.
I agree. There's a lot of people that could do better in the situation, that maybe have power in the situation. Other students could stand up for the girl and go to the head professor and say, hey man, fucking purple belt jack off over here is being a real fucking dick to people. And, we don't think it's right. Not even a fair thing. We just don't think it's right, flat out. And, you know, again, if the professor does nothing, then that means he condones it and bail.
It's okay to cry in jiu-jitsu if you're a girl. It's girls cry. It's a natural thing for them to do. It's okay, but it's not okay to make a girl cry off of being derogatory and being violent and being mean and being degrading. That is horrible. That's just not being a man. That's not being what everybody who loves this sport is trying to get this sport to grow to.
Right. We've got another one. This is I don't think this one's going to be more of a rant answer. I think this is going to be kind of like, we got to think this one out. So
okay,
this was sent in by a blue belt. It's not a screenshot, but it's like a copy and paste of something his coach submitted to him to ask us. So this is in the coach's words. This is the owner of the gym. And I think he just needs some guidance. Now, I don't own a gym. I attend a gym. I know what the culture of my gym's like, and this is a culture question in the gym as well. Matt, you don't own a gym, but you are an instructor in a gym, and you have students that come to your class consistently, and you've grown a 6 a.m. class from, you know, essentially a handful of guys into a class that's larger than most schools, or not most schools, but a lot of schools.
Yeah, we have me and the other professors have done a pretty good job of doing that.
Right,
yes.
Right. And that's a 6 a.m. class. You know what I mean? That's not typically the larger, you know what I mean? There's schools with smaller 6 p.m. class sizes than your 6 a.m. So I think that says a lot about the culture that you and the two other professors in that program have kind of developed. So this is, says, to me, it feels like our gym is transactional. How do we get the gym to feel like a team or a community? How do we get students to become close friends or even best friends? We use a constraint-led approach for all of our classes because our gym values it. Our gym value is to help students become as skilled as possible as quickly as possible. In doing so, it's been very difficult for us to retain beginners. Another set of gym values is that we want to help our students become physically and mentally tougher and more resilient as quickly as possible. 1, we help them survive and thrive in our CLA classes, which are more challenging and demanding than traditional classes. And 2, to combat what we see happening in our society, a tendency for people to seek comfort and avoid things that are challenging and uncomfortable. How can we increase our beginner retention rates without compromising our values for rapid skill development and helping people become tougher and more resilient to challenges and adversity?
So you basically guys are like almost like an accelerated course, like,
Right.
You know what I mean? Trying to get guys, you know, training good faster.
Can I jump on this first?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, go.
So just from an outside perspective looking in, I go to a school that's only been around, or I think we're entering our 4th year, right? So my professor has had to build this school from literally nothing, you know? It's we're like a sister school of you know, his professor's school, which is where Matt is an instructor, and my instructor is also an instructor at that school as well. So he decided to branch away and do his own thing, you know, under the Checkmate banner, but he had to like build it from scratch, you know, and he's been able to do it, but you know, obviously there's some growing pains and whatnot. So he's fostered a pretty good kids program. You know, he's fostered, I'd say the majority of the adult class is a lot of firefighters, a lot of cops, a lot of dudes that are in their like mid to late 30s. So a lot of masters athletes, you know, and I think for a lot of masters guys, I guess we're kind of over the point in our lives where we're like, you know, necessarily trying to prove to ourselves. We're more or less, we've kind of like realized that we just need something to keep us active, keep us moving, and that's fun, that's exercise. It doesn't feel like exercise, et cetera. Everybody has jiu-jitsu for different reasons, but I feel like that's a majority of what our guys' reasoning is for being there. Now, occasionally you'll get new students and it can be harder to retain the guys that are in their 20s and whatnot, especially if they're getting, you know, if they're a white belt with no experience and they come in and they're getting beat up by a bunch of guys in their like 40s. It's probably not a good hit to the ego. And at one point in time, somebody had asked like, hey, like, can we have a designated like fundamentals day where it's going to be real entry level moves, really teaching, the kind of basics of jiu-jitsu. And if I assume everybody that listens to this podcast, or the overwhelming majority, do jiu-jitsu. So you all remember that when you hop into a class day one, it's not traditionally a beginner's course. You're hopping into, if you start on a Wednesday, it's like the middle of the week De La Hiva that your instructor is teaching. And it's like, they're saying, hey, we're going to start out from, open guard, da-da-da-da. And you're just like, what are all these terms? I don't know what any of this means. So it can be difficult for a newer student to kind of get up to pace. So our professor did two things. One, he did have a specified 6 p.m. fundamentals class. And two, he's done this a couple of times. He does an introductory kind of like, hey, if you want to try jiu-jitsu out and you don't want to dive in with all of the other existing students and you kind of want to start at a square one, he does it's like 6 Saturdays in a row, all at the same time. You're going to be with only other new white belts. It's kind of like an introductory class. So it's like, and it does start, like you can't jump in the middle of it. It's like, hey, we're going to do this 6 weeks in a row. And then after that, maybe we start another 6-week class. So it's like an introductory class. And now it goes for the 6 weeks. And after that, if you choose to continue jiu-jitsu, at that point, you've got a good base and you can jump into the regular classes and you're not so lost. So I think those two things were really pivotal for the growth of our gym, because it did help give a good solid base for these new students with no grappling background whatsoever. And I think that reading this, it kind of sounds like that's what he's running into, is he's so focused on this advanced learning style that if you aren't a quick learner, it doesn't mean you shouldn't be learning jiu-jitsu, or you shouldn't even be learning from this guy. You know what I mean? Like this learning method may make sense if you've got a little bit of like knowledge under your belt, but you have no knowledge right now. So I think that would be a beneficial thing to him. Like maybe have a 6-week Saturday introductory course, or whatever day you choose and it's literally just those guys. There's no blue belts in the class. There's no purple belts. There's no higher belts at all. It's literally just day one white belts starting on day one. That's kind of my thing.
Yeah. I think it comes a couple things. I think economically right now, younger white belts, the juice isn't worth the squeeze for them yet. It's a financial thing. Like jiu-jitsu is not a cheap hobby. It's not a cheap hobby at all. So, retaining guys who haven't got the itch yet is kind of hard to do. And what it sounds like is the school that you're at is more of an accelerated school, which probably means like, she's like, we're trying to get people ready for the real world, which probably is big time warm up, heavy drilling, hard sparring, and you got a bunch of killers in your gym. And it's because it's hard. The ones that do stay are good, but it weeds out the guys that are like, man, that was hard.
Right.
You got to be able to find your killers and it's a business. You got to be able to blend the regulars with the killers. And the way you can do that is, I froze for a second. The way you can do that is by just, you have to have your higher belts adopt white belts. You have to have them welcome the new guys. Show them first rounds, go with the higher belts. Like higher belt goes with the lower belt, and then work with them. This is first day. Work with them. Help this guy out. Help this girl out. Your warm up. I have talked to Poncho before. Poncho said when he was in Brazil, his warm ups were crazy. I've been on MMA teams where your warm ups are absolutely crazy, and you're gassed before we even start drilling. And I know some professors who have crazy warm ups, and I've talked to Poncho, and Poncho's like, yeah, he's like, I know why his school is not as successful as mine. He's all, because this is America. And in America, people come in late after work, and I'm not going to punish them and make them do push-ups and shit if they're late. You know what I mean? Like, right. They're still here. Like, you got to welcome them in and maybe not kill them on the warm-up. People want to roll. You know what I mean? Like, we kill them on the warm-up, and then all of a sudden they have nothing for the roll. They feel like they didn't do any jiu-jitsu. Like, you got to make jiu-jitsu fun. We're in a society. It takes 10 years. You can try to accelerate it as fast as you want, but jiu-jitsu is going to take 10 to 12 years to get that black belt. And if you just pin it before they've even broken that engine, they're going to get hurt and they're going to leave. So you got to baby them in. Oh man, are you tired? It's okay. Okay, go sit down. Go take a break. Rest this 2 rounds. Do what you can do. Oh, you see a white belt dying? Like if I see a white belt who's just like out of it, I'm not going to be like, hey, now go roll with him. I'm like, are you all right? You want to go sit down? Hey, or I'll be like, he's tired. He's too proud. He doesn't want to go sit down. Hey, come here. I got you. And I'll roll with him. But like, let him move. You know what I mean? Like you can't just because most of the classes is just gung ho. If you want to build camaraderie, you have to like baby these guys in a little bit. You can't just like put it on hard and hopefully they'll figure it out. Sometimes that'll work. Sometimes they'll be like, oh, I love that shit. Right. And they'll just embrace it. But sometimes they're like, dude, I'm hurt. I tweaked my elbow. I can't go back now. You have to like let their body get conditioned. You have to bring them up slowly. And that's what I would do. I mean, it's a business. It's a business. And for the camaraderie part, you have to have activities outside the gym. You're like, hey, we're all going to this to watch the fights together. Hey, we're all going here. Hey, let's all support so-and-so in his first MMA fight here. Or what, you know what I mean? You have to have like these kind of like team building things that aren't just jiu-jitsu. Like if you just open sign, close sign, and then everybody goes home, then it feels like you're at the LA Fitness. You want to make it like a community.
You know, as somebody who is just a blue belt, I do remember when I first started because it wasn't that long ago. And I think Matt's point of adopting a white belt, there's a lot in that. You know what I mean? You got to talk to some of your more experienced belts and let them know like, hey, I'm trying to build a culture here. If you see somebody doing a good job, like, you know, it's great to hear it from your professor, but it's also good to hear it from your peers. You know what I mean? Like, hey man, that was good. That was a good roll. You know what I mean? Or hey, like if the higher belt's sitting on the wall watching, kind of maybe coaching them through a little bit. If you got a purple belt or a brown belt doing that, and they were like paying attention to the instruction and doing what they were being told, like that's good as a white belt to hear. You know what I mean? Like it's good to know that like you have the respect of your peers, not just your professor, because you're not paying your peers. You know, the professor's getting a paychecks. You know, he's collecting the monthly dues. So like, there's a little bit of, you know, in the back of your head, like, oh, was he just saying that because he kind of has to, kind of a thing, or you know what I mean? Like, but if your peers says it, like, there's nothing in it for them. So if you want your gym to grow, you've got to get your team on board with that idea as well. And I remember it happening. Sorry. You know what I mean? I remember it happening just not long ago. You know what I mean? And it's a good feeling to like walk away and be like, fuck, man, like that 4-stripe blue belt or that purple belt, like, told me I did a good job. Like that, it's a motivating, you know, thing. It's like, fuck, I'm going to come back and, you know, now I want to roll with that guy. Like, you know, I know that there's something there. And then like, eventually it'll click in their head of what that was. And they'll start to do it as they get their blue belt and purple belt and whatnot. And it'll kind of like, snowballs and, you know, and just kind of takes effect in your gym. So, I think Matt's got a really good point there. And a lot of the times that comes naturally, but if it's not coming naturally, because maybe you've got a gym that's full of competitors or just guys that are like, you know, at a high rate of learning, there might be a little selfishness there. You know what I mean? Like they might be there
to like overly autistic.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Just like, they just don't talk, dude. They just snap necks and leave.
Yeah. So, you know, there might be, it takes a good, you know, personality's got to click and whatnot, but it's something that like, especially as an older guy myself, and as somebody who's like, you know, starting to progress in jiu-jitsu and whatnot, I find importance in it. Not just because I'm their peer or whatever, but also like I'm a dad. And so I've kind of got that in me, you know what I mean? Where it's just like, I want to see people in general just be the best versions of themselves that they can. And if I can say something that kind of sparks that motivation, you know, I'm going to say it. It costs me nothing except for a compliment, you know? So,
I've been adopting white belt since I was a 1-stripe white belt.
Yeah.
Like you don't have to be an upper belt. Of course, you're going to know more. It's easier to adopt a white belt in that place. But I've been many times where, look at your professor has 2 eyeballs. You could offer eyeballs that you seeing something, you see a guy getting beat, but hey, every time I'm in that position, I just may try to do this. I don't know. Like, I'm only white belt 2. He's all, but you know what I found out helped me? If I can get this frame right here, then I can kind of like breathe a little better. And it's kind of helped me out. He's like, well, what about this? Okay, well, I don't know. We could ask somebody. And then maybe that guy knows some, hey, and brings a pro. What happens if we get stuck here? And the next thing you know, you're getting like a little semi-private from a blue belt or a purple belt. There's nothing wrong with that. It's jiu-jitsu. We're learning the game together. You don't always have to get your knowledge from a brown and above. Like, you can learn the littlest things from one of my favorite half guard passes. I learned from a blue belt who was visiting from a Gracie Baja. Ooh, ha, ha, ha. Yeah, he came in, he freaking taught me something, and I've been using it ever since. It's money. So like, and I learned that, and I was a white belt, and I learned it from a blue belt. Like, you can just, your professor only has 2 eyes. Help people out. Help people. Make them love it. Maybe like, so next time he comes in, he's going to be like, hey man, I tried that thing you did. It was helping. Like, cool, bro. And then now you've made a friend, and then the culture grows.
Right. Right. Yeah. And I think Matt's suggestion too, with, you know, things that are jiu-jitsu related, but maybe not jiu-jitsu, you know what I mean? So yeah. the fights, an after belt promotion party, you know, like, we're fortunate that my school is right next to a pizza place. So everybody just goes next door afterwards to the pizza place and grabs a beer and orders a bunch of pizzas, and all the kids play video games in the back, and, you know what I mean? Stuff like that. So, you know, just kind of sit down and make friends and talk, and kind of realize that, like, oh, you have other interests that are similar outside of choking.
And it's the head professor's job to build also. It's his job to build his community. When it all comes down to it, if you're just a professor who teaches a move and then goes sits on the wall and lets everybody roll and doesn't coach, you're doing a disservice to your students, in my opinion. You got to be able to like help them. I love coaching while rounds are going. And if I see something after class, I'll be like, hey, or after a round, I'm like, hey, hold on. I'll make the guys, before we start the next round, get back down in this position. He had you here. All you need to do is this. Try this next time you get stuck in this position. If I'm watching and I can see, I'm going to correct it right after the round. Like, no. You were stuck right here. You were too high on the back. You didn't have a seatbelt. That's your fault. That's why you fell over the top. Hold here next time. And then I'm like, okay, guys, go find new rounds. But I always like try to correct it after the roll. I feel like that is so helpful to people. If you're just a professor, just watch this guys roll and then be like, thanks, retain what you learned, but I'm not going to show you anything extra. Then I think you're doing this disservice for your students.
Hopefully that information helps. Hopefully that's
gonna have to be middle tier clip. Kenny, it has to be too long to stitch on that one.
Yeah. Yeah, hopefully that whatever you guys pull from that, you know, maybe it's you start implementing some of those ideas, or maybe that sparks some new ideas for you guys and whatnot, and you can get your gym growing and maintaining growth and retaining some of those new students, because you know, that is the lifeblood of your gym. So you can't ignore them. You have to really pour into your white belts. It's important. In other news, B team had some drama go on this past week, or at least
all the news. It's B team.
Yeah,
B team's in all the news. Good, bad, weird.
Yeah. We're not gonna dive too deep into this, because we know it is, one, it's still playing out. 2, it is a bit of a controversial subject. 3, I think we'll just kind of like make our stance on something really quickly and just get that out of the way. But then also we want to do some applauding. And
if we're not answering some of the questions that came in that were concerning us, because those were some of them, we're doing it right here.
Okay. So obviously in light of what's, and if you do jiu-jitsu and you listen to the pod, and you probably know what we're going to talk about, but if you live under a rock as well, then, you know, just Google it, because I don't want to dive into all of it. But a prominent student at the B team school was kicked out of B team, one of their pros, for some stuff that he did that he even came out and admitted was wrong and incorrect of him. And I don't think that that's up for discussion. It's wrong, period. He even said it's wrong. Everybody has said it's wrong. And to all those people out there that are trying to make excuses for his actions, I don't have room in my life for victim blamers, so you can fuck off. I will say, in regards to that person being removed from the team, you know, in that learning environment that Craig is trying to create, I know Craig gets a lot of flack for his online persona. Craig is playing a character, and if you are too dense to understand that, then I don't know. Again, the comedy on this pod must go completely over your head, and you must think that everything that we say is real and 100% factual. But a lot of what we say is just for laughs, folks.
You got to believe, like, I'm those nation guy. You like really think I'm who I am? Like, I'm trying to be entertaining. I'm trying to,
right.
You know what I mean? It's not. That's like, if no one wants just normal Matt, I'm Matt with the volume turned up.
Right.
That's what it's been in pro wrestling since the beginning of time. Like, that's just kind of what it is. It's not.
I don't know.
If you know me if you knew me personally, like what you do, Kenny, obviously,
yeah,
you would know I'm not really like I am when I'm on social media.
No, Matt is a dad of two and a husband. You know what I mean? He's very good at both of those things, and that's very much what he is. He's a father, and he's a, it's so the stuff that does, and Matt will even admit that, hey man, some of the stuff I'm doing is cringy, and it's on purpose. You know what I mean? Like.
Yeah.
And you're constantly dropping the hint that, hey, I'm a big wrestling mark. I've been a pro wrestling fan since I was a kid. Like, that was a giant escape for you as a child. Like, if you can't see that Matt is basically just taking a pro wrestling
promo
spin, at an online persona, then I don't know, man. I got a bag of magic to sell you as well. So, but in regards to this B team stuff, and in regards to this man being removed from the professional team and kicked out of the gym, I want to applaud Craig Jones and his partner Seth. And no, this is not an attempt to earn the favor of Craig Jones. The last two questions that we talked about on this episode were about gym culture, and I think Craig did a good job at protecting his gym culture. The people that train in his gym have a precedent set for what is okay and what is not okay. He did not sweep it under the rug. He didn't try to hide it. And there's, I guess, a B Team New Jersey now. I mean, he realistically could have just moved J-Rod to B Team New Jersey, you know what I mean? And like shifted it around so he gets away from the current problem that he's at. But that doesn't solve the issue. Like, J-Rod admittedly has a real issue that he needs to seek counsel with and hopefully, come out on top a better person. I'm not trying to bury J-Rod. I am not a man free of sin by any means. I've done a lot of stupid shit. Some, in my opinion, would be far more egregious than what J-Rod has done. That being said, I'm not that same guy that I was in my 20s, at all. So,
girl, same.
Yeah. So I do have absolute faith in J-Rod, and if you're as good as a jiu-jitsu competitor as he is, clearly you've got a strong will and a desire to learn and become better. And if he can apply that to himself as a human, he will absolutely be a much better man in the future. So that's my hope for J-Rod. I know I didn't say his name earlier, but I said it now. That's my hope for J-Rod. I really do genuinely hope that I don't want this to bury the guy. Is it absolutely fucked up what he did? Yeah, it is. Is it something that he should be blackballed from jiu-jitsu for the rest of his life? I think that would be a huge mistake to jiu-jitsu, and it would be jiu-jitsu failing a student of jiu-jitsu. You know what I mean? Like, jiu-jitsu is all about creating a better person. What's the quote that Joe Rogan always says? It's martial arts is a vehicle for to help maximize your self-improvement or your ability to just become a better human being. So like, if you were to take J-Rod and kick him out of competitions and every gym and learning and whatnot, like, maybe he needs to step away from the gym for a little bit. Maybe that's his consequence. And I don't know. I'm not saying go back to B team. Like, maybe he needs to find a new gym and a new tutelage. But I applaud Craig for not sweeping this under the rug, for taking immediate action, for dealing with it head on, and for making the students in his gym feel safe and like this is a safe space for them. Like, hey, we were protected. Like, this bad thing happened, and it's no longer something we have to worry about. So good on you, Craig. Good on you, Seth.
Yeah, everything you said, 100%. I think we come into this happens in professional sports. You got young men who are excelling at a craft, who get some popularity. You know what I mean? And then they get female attention, and it just kind of feeds the storm. And as like someone like as like me, or even Craig Jones, from a content creation situation, the purple belt memes and purple belt pimps, and like, I lean for the comedy of these things, because why are people laughing at these things? Because it's kind of, you're walking the line of truth of like how this culture is, right? So to me, it's like, it sucks, because you hate to see it actually play out. You know what I mean? And I feel so bad for these ladies that happened to, that it should never happen to anybody. It's horrible. It's absolutely horrible. And I think I commend Seth and Craig for doing what they did. No, I'm not looking for clout. I don't need it. But I think, he admitted his guilt, and let's move on, and let's grow. If it was a bad gym culture there, well, there wouldn't be girls there.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, there wouldn't be girls at B team if Craig Jones was who Craig Jones was.
I completely agree.
That's all I'm saying. You know what I mean? I wouldn't have girls in my class if I was really about the purple belt pimp memes and the whatever I'm doing. You know what I mean? Like, comedy is comedy, and real life is real life. And it just sucks to see this portrayed out in real life. And
right. Well, comedy wouldn't be funny if it didn't have a little bit of truth in it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Hopefully these girls can, get past that I couldn't imagine. You know what I mean? You're coming from a guy who I get, fat shamed. I get, you know what I mean? I get just railed in the comments on some of my stuff. You know what I mean? It's not fun. But I put myself out there, and I know this is going to happen because I chose to make this happen.
Right.
These girls did not do that. They didn't choose for this to happen to them, and they're just getting exploited, and that's not cool. So applauds to the leaders of the B team for fixing the situation, and let's just focus on a good, healthy tournaments coming up. We got good submersive coming up. We got good CJIs coming around the corner. Worlds. Let's just get back to the great things about jiu-jitsu, but you know what I mean? I feel like we did have to talk about it, and that's our opinion on it. If you don't like our opinion, then I'm sorry, man. Don't listen to us.
Right. Matt, we've got questions. We've got a ton of questions.
Oh boy.
So let's dive into them. First question. This is from Warpath. It says, can I be the official firearms instructor of Checkmate Marietta?
Sure. Sure.
I want to learn. I know that Phil trains with him. Phil's done a couple privates with him. Nate's done a class. Yeah. There's others.
Does he train jiu-jitsu? Can we be your official jiu-jitsu school?
I know Warpath. For a while. I know he lives in Menifee, and for a while he was he was training at your cousin's gym.
Boo! Yeah. No, I'm just joking. So, come on, dude. What are we doing? No, I'm just joking.
He hasn't trained in a couple of years, but I know that he was like a 2 or 3 stripe blue belt. So he's a large man.
Cool.
He's a large man.
Dude, you should be training with me, dude.
Yeah.
What are you doing? Yeah. What are you doing? Little cross, little jiu-jitsu privates, little shooting privates. We can make magic, dude. We could absolutely make magic. No, but yeah, man, I commend. I think everybody should learn how to be handy with the steel, like Warren G said. Everybody should be prepared, protect themselves. So I commend guys who are in that profession. And if you have the ability to learn how to, protect yourself in any facet, learn. Go to bed at 4:00, get to the class the next morning, right, Kenny? Get your 12 hours sleep, and then fucking train and freaking have a great time and just get better. That's an inside joke. Kenny and Legs like to go to bed at like 7 because they got to do something the next day. I'm like, the sun's still out, boys.
This is Davis _MD. When's your lasso tutorial coming? Hit your fat man inversion today. Love it.
I really got to get in shape, dude. No, I'm working on it. But I was thinking maybe your boy should put my first instructional out on OnlyFans. Now, hear me out. Mostly men have OnlyFans, right? Would you agree, Kenny?
I would assume so.
I would assume so, right? I put my lasso on OnlyFans. So if you do get caught being...
Yeah, I would say you're right.
OFE, if you get caught in your OF mode, so if your old lady's like, what is this bill for OnlyFans? You just bring up my shit and be like, look, no, I bought a lasso instructional from Os Nation. I could be your cover. I could be your post nut clarity. You know what I'm saying? And then for like, just come, you buy my instructional, and then I will be your cover. Like, no, I go for jiu-jitsu demos. I think as a community, we should all start putting our demos on OnlyFans to help out the weird autistic jiu-jitsu kid who's just trying to get one off. And then for a little extra, who knows? I might sit on a shampoo bottle. You don't know.
Have you seen Shane Gillis's skit OnlyFans Dad?
Yeah, dude. He's like, ding, ding. The money's like, she's like, get out of here.
We're getting the big lake house this year.
Tire swing. Fucking, yeah, that's hilarious.
Do you
that's
like water skiing, or are you one of those wakeboard clowns?
But I was literally thinking about maybe putting it on OnlyFans. I think that might be pretty funny.
That would be funny. I agree.
I think it would be on brand for my thing too. Yeah. So
we got a question from Junie Moon _. Anything. Kenny was afraid to answer the fuck, marry, kill last pod. Well, sir, I just know my boundaries. All right, man. I'm a married man, and I'm not going to say some shit that's going to fucking get me in the doghouse. So there's certain things I'm just not going to fucking climb around. But
that's what I'm here for.
Yeah. Next question. Fuck, marry, kill. Craig Jones, Jordan Ryan, Hodger Gracie. Guess who's answering this one, bitch?
All right. Hell yeah.
I'm going to kill Gordon Ryan. I'm going to marry Hodger Gracie because
that was quick.
And I'm going to fuck Craig Jones because I'm not gonna fuck with these guys. You can't fuck Gordon because he just likes to watch. So
you can't fuck Craig either. You'll die.
Yeah, there might be some AIDS there. I guess it's just luck of the draw. And then Hodger, I feel like of all those three, I don't think he's the richest. But I think that he's gonna take care of me, and I don't mean from like a financial standpoint. I mean like he's a large man.
Large man, you're gonna feel safe. He's gonna want to train gi. He's gonna, he's got cool uncles and shit. Yeah, cousins. Yeah. Like, holy crap, what's going on?
The family reunion aspect. Yeah,
you're hanging out at the castle with Zoltan. Like, it's like a lot of cool stuff going on there. Little birdie says like Hodger likes to have fun when no one's looking. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it just seems like a good, fun dude to hang out with. So yeah, I'd marry Hodger.
Little birdie, Matt and I saw Hodger playing fucking blackjack at 3 a.m. in the casino. So.
Yeah, we did. It was good times. It was like, good times, dude.
Fucking what?
I did have that skit. It was even too cringy for me. Where me in the shower, I was in the shower, and at the hotel we had this little window, and I had like the phone out, like looking through the shower. And I was like, I had like some soft music. And I was like, do you think Hodger Gracie's looking out his window right now too? I never made it though. It was fucking too cringy for me. I was doing that while Kenny's in there editing a video. I'm in their fucking bathroom. I was like, what? Damn, Matt's in there a long time. I must be in the crank zone. No, I wasn't. I was cutting content in the shower.
Speaking of OnlyFans.
But no, I'm Gordon Ryan. F, marry, kill. I mean, I guess I'd kill Gordon. I'd fucking, I'd marry Craig Jones because he's probably gonna do something to fuck up the prenup, and I'll get half. You know, what I mean, end that marriage quick because he's gonna fuck it up somehow. And then I just roll one time with Hodger. That's it. You know.
We got a fuck.
Why dudes, guys? Why dudes? I don't like dudes.
We got a fuck, marry, kill double feature.
Oh boy.
Wendy the Barber, fuck, marry, kill, soup, salad, sandwich.
Well, salad's dying. Or no, soup's dying. I can't fuck with soup, dude. My wife makes a mean bowl of fucking soup. Okay. I love you, honey. Happy Mother's Day. But your soup is a little much. It'd be 110 degrees. She's like, guess what we're having tonight? Minestrone. I'm like, fuck. You know, so I hate soup. I don't hate soup. It's never something I'm like, no, it sounds good. Never. Not once. I'm going to marry sandwich. You could fucking a good Jersey Mike sandwich or something. I'll fucking marry sandwich. And then, I fuck with salad. I do good chicken cob, fucking salad. That's good.
I'm going to say, fuck salad. I hate salad, period. End of story. I'm going to say, kill salad. Fuck sandwich. I feel like I'm really picky when I eat like a toddler. So sandwich, I like peanut butter and jelly. I like meatball. I like turkey and cheese, but I don't like mayo. I don't like mustard. I don't want any fucking vegetables on it. So like, if I'm marrying sandwich and it's just gonna be meatball all the time, I'm gonna be a meatball. So I don't need that. And I'm gonna marry soup. I don't have
balance. This is why it was balance. Yeah, it's balance.
Yeah, I don't have soup the way that Matt has soup, so I like a good soup every once in a while. I think Matt likes a good soup every once in a while. I like a good soup on the side.
I like a soup on the side. I don't like a soup as a main dish at all. Period. But you know what? Shout out to my wife for just holding to her guns. Like, I don't give a fuck. Are you eating it or not? My wife makes dinner every night, but it's not the dinner I want. And you know what I mean? So it's like I'm basically living like I'm a kid still. It's like, what are we having for dinner? Oh, mom made macaroni and cheese. Fuck! You know what I mean? Like, damn it. And I'll eat it. I mean, I guess, you know, your boy's not going without meals over here. Hey, did you see that new AI, the Theo Vaughn little podcast, Kenny, where they do babies? They're got babies talking.
Yeah.
I know Kenny's got something weird about AI, but I would love for somebody to make us into babies. So if you have that technology, make that happen. I'm just saying.
CJ Go.
Now, baby me better not be fat either, dude. If he's like a little fat kid, I'll be pissed, dude. I'm like, damn it. He's all fucking like peanut butter jelly time kid. I'll be pissed, dude.
CJ Go, are wrist locks any different than any other submission?
Besides being gay, no. They're a sub. They work. It's just
Matt ate.
It's low hanging fruit. It's low hanging fruit, dude. It's the apple fell on the ground. Let's eat it.
But do you feel like you should still have to learn them so you don't get caught in them?
Learn the traps of like where you should learn where your wrist is in danger. Like if you're grabbing low on the lapel, like I did that one time, or if you're grabbing, you know, I mean, if you like put your hand on someone's head and then they go to grab it and then they get their wrist like from the guard, you know what I mean? You should learn them. If you get omoplata and the guy's on mount and he can push down your wrist, like it's an easy ass move. It's an easy move, but yeah, I mean, it's legit. If you get a guy to tap, it's a tap. A tap is a tap.
Fair.
You wrist lock people, Kenny? Look at me, Kenny.
I've never wrist locked anybody. I've never
fucking it. We'll end this fucking podcast. Swear to God.
But you know what? That. You know what?
Don't do that shit.
You know what? I'm learning. We got a wrist locker in my gym now, and it's inspired me. It's inspired me.
Shout out Wristlock Johnny.
Shout out Wristlock Johnny.
Sick. He had a You think Wristlock Johnny's really shitting in the shower, guys? Back to people playing a part on the internet. Do you think he's really fucking taking hot steamies in the shower?
No.
Yeah, I do too. I think he is.
Ghost _ Rider 85. If you could pick a superpower for each other, what would it be?
If I could pick a superpower for Kenny, it's a power I would want. And it's I would just give it to you because that's the game. I would like to be able to divert my pain to other people.
So if a guy was
I got a little bit of a cold today. I got a cold today. How's that? Oh fuck, I'm sick. You know what I mean? Or like, oh, my knee's fucking hurting today. Hey, oh yeah, wear it. You wear it now. Oh, I would love to like heartbreak. Just divert pain. I think everybody wants the invisibility and flying and shit like that. Like I would like to be able to grab pain off my body that I feel and give it to other people.
What if you were getting armbarred and you diverted the pain to the person armbarring you?
Exactly. That's what I'm talking about. Pain transfer.
They choke you and they're getting choked.
Yeah. Like, you're coming quick. Oh shit, I'm gonna lose it. And all of a sudden your chick's like, oh, hell yeah, dude. Problem solved. We're transferring feelings. There you go. Not just pain. We're transferring feelings. That would be my superpower. Everybody just laughs at my jokes. Like, laugh. Everybody gets my sense of humor. Great.
Well, this is for each other. So I would say for Matt, if I could pick a superpower for Matt, it would be whatever he wishes for, he gets it, but only like 3/5 of it.
Oh yeah. I have to earn the rest.
So it's like
I get a Corvette, but with like the shitty rims.
It's Corvette, but there's no motor in it. He's gonna have to go buy that.
Fuck, yeah. Yeah, you know, you gotta make me work a little bit. Yeah. It's
like everything. It's like I want free tickets to CGI. Best I can offer you is 60% off.
And you have to be a janitor. You have to work the stack bar.
You're at CGI, just making nachos.
Yeah. You're there. Here's a fat ass. No anal. Fuck. No.
Fuck.
That'd be cool.
And then our last question of the day. Oh, that is the last question of the day.
Yeah, that one was just like, talking smack on.
Yeah, it was B team.
If you side with what B team did, you're.
Yeah. Well, no,
some people out there have a lot of pain, and they're using their own life circumstances and not opening their eyes to the big picture of what's happening. Sometimes you got to be able to get in that third person and look down at the situation and what's happening and realize this isn't your situation. This isn't the trauma that happened to you to make you feel the way you feel about certain people. Right. Look at it as a whole. And if you look at it as a whole, you could realize what is right and what is wrong.
It's like when it comes to the B team thing, this is just to take one step back real quick, and I'll make this fast. When I hear this, I am a father of multiple daughters. So if any of these women were my daughter, how would I feel about it? These aren't girls. They've already come out and clarified. These aren't girls that sent nudes to J-Rod and he just kept them in a folder. No. This is J-Rod going and finding regular pictures of these girls and then using AI to edit them to look like it's them naked, which that's where the deviousness comes into it. So if somebody, and then they're holding it's very disturbing behavior. I'll just say that. So, and if that could definitely make somebody feel uncomfortable, very uncomfortable, So that is the stance that I take on it. As a father of daughters, how do I feel about it?
And for him to get caught means he must have been showing people.
Right.
Which is like, come on, bro. What are we doing?
So that's the clarification. That's the stance I take is just, I'm a dad. I have daughters. And if this happened to my daughters, how would I feel?
The internet is scary.
Yeah, it is.
The internet is scary, guys.
So.
People will superimpose you. People will, you know what I mean? That's why I choose not to put my daughter on public profiles.
Right.
Or my kids in general. It's just scary. You don't know what people are doing. So learn from it.
That's it for questions, Matt.
You think what I'm thinking?
Aim for the bushes, brother.
Aim for the bushes. My name is Matt, Oast Nation BJJ. This is Kenny at Freak Party BJJ. Follow us on all our socials, YouTube, TikTok. I'll post, Kenny won't. Follow us on the Discord, BJJ Balance Instagram. Let's get it to 7K. It's growing every day. We appreciate all the love. Happy Mother's Day to everybody. Stay cool. If you're in SoCal, it is hot. Grab that baby powder. Sprinkle up. Your boy is chafed right now. But anyway, have a good week, and we will see you next week. Osh.